on that ugly garlic knot of a head of his. He starts yipping away like some satanic chihuahua under a strobe light. I can't even watch the guy anymore. He's got more nervous tics than a Baghdad parking valet. And we're off.
Okay. So the first question comes from Richard, who lives here in Houston. The fourth largest city in the country, by the way, Houston.
I did not know that. It's like going on the road with Rand McNally.
I know.
Huh? How many jobs were you fired from, or did you quit?
Way too many.
Everywhere I go, you've been there.
That's right. We actually ate a good restaurant tonight, Miller and I, Blackfin. You know, media outside of just watching Fox News. Well, you can hiss at it. I mean, but unfortunately, and yet look, the best example is the Houston Chronicle. Your paper here, the Houston Chronicle. Now, when I was working down here in Dallas, at Dallas Morning News, and they used to have the Dallas Times-Herald, the Houston Chronicle, pretty fair papers. I mean, they didn't have crazy left-wing points of view. But now, you read the Houston Chronicle, and some of these people, you know, I don't know what it is, but they're all going bankrupt. So, Richard, the answer to the question is, if you think you're not getting a fair shake, don't watch, and don't read, and don't buy. I mean, that'll put him out of business. Lives in Houston as well. Do you think our country will ever return to the way it was pre-Obama? Will we recognize it in 4 years? I think the primary damage to the country has been done. Miller disagrees with me. I think that unless the economy turns around and fast, that there's going to be real trouble for the president in his next term. Because, yes, there are more slackers that we talked about, more people who want stuff than there used to be. We're never going to go back to father knows best and all of that. It's not going to happen. We're enlightened now. Some things like gay marriage are inevitable in some states. Supreme Court will hear it. And, you know, they'll probably let it go, I would imagine. They will let it go. But it'll be a state by state.
He'll run for the presidency 4 years hence as a Democrat. And I think that they'll make a movie about it called Mr. Smith and Walensky Goes to Washington.
That means Christie comes up against Hillary. If he runs, because Hillary's going to run for president.
I've seen Hillary lately. She ain't running for nothing. She should start running. You know why Hillary's cranky all the time? Because she knows that we know that she's been cheated on more frequently than a blind woman playing Scrabble with gypsies.
Appreciate your efforts in looking out for us. Well, I appreciate that, Richard. You know, this last time around, I gotta get a handle on really what I want to do. Because we've been over their shoulder. You know, guys like Dan Rather wanted their jobs, and roll call with Brian Williams, and it's always been that way. But, you know, I don't really care if somebody's better than me. They can kind of step on in. But I don't know who that would be at this point. Maybe we'll...
It ain't Ed Schultz.
No, it's not like there's a minor leagues.
No, it's real thin pickings down there.
And local news used to be good. Remember Marvin Zindler? Remember Marvin? He died, right? Marvin was good. He kicked some serious butt, Marvin, didn't he? He was good.
He kept a Zindler's list.
Yeah.
He would go after
you. You don't have that anymore. You have, you know, one anchor named Tiffany and the other named Brian, and hey, 18 felonies today. We'll be right back. You know, I brought him on, and the rest was...
So you like authenticity?
Authenticity.
I don't like Alan Combs. Just being authentic.
Holmes is authentically dense, all right? I just was Patty Montgomery, my favorite question of the day. Bill, how do you stay so young, looking, and handsome? You Texas women, when I lived down here, you really had good taste. That's all I can I don't really do much. Do you miss being on Monday Night Football?
Well, here's two things about Monday Night Football. First off, I grew up in Pittsburgh, where, much like Green Bay, tickets are willed down from generation to generation. You don't get season tickets there. And if you want to go to games, you have to get down there at like 6:30 on a Sunday morning, and it just never interested me. I watched every Steeler game on TV, but here's the little secret. The first time I was ever at a pro football game in person, I was in the booth on Monday Night Football. I remember standing there in Canton, Ohio, and I look, and there's Al, and there's Fouts, Paul Tagley, boos me, Hammy, let's get him, kid. And I hear, da, 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 and I'm thinking, I wonder if I should tell anybody I've never been to a football game. And I said, no, that can't help anybody. Now here's a good inside story on football, though. Al's a genius, but if you throw Al off his game and he starts laughing, he can't gather. He's like a kid. And my weird references would make him laugh. So I spent my entire 2 seasons there trying to bust him up on the air. I remember we were doing this game one night in Minneapolis at the Metrodome, which is the loudest place I've ever heard times on my little iPad, it's called. And you get tomorrow's edition. And I have to give you a compliment, Billy. The number 1 and 2 book are the 2 killing. And by the way, I'm coming out with a new book. Look for it. I'm trying to troll off Bill's fame. It's called Killing Lincoln Logs. And hoping somebody hits the wrong button on Amazon and I get a little of that taste. So, but Lincoln and Kennedy are 1 and 2. And I always think, well, the guy gets out there and sells his butt out. But here's the one I don't understand. How in God's name do you bring yourself to go on The View? I don't know how. I would never go on that show. How do you go on The View? What's that about?
It's a long story. I've known Barbara Walters since the Civil War, all right? I've known her a long time. So whenever I have a book out, she goes, oh, man, you have to come on the show. And I said, okay. So you're going. Now, the classic View story happened about 4 years ago when I was promoting a book called The Bold Fresh Piece of Humanity, which was my autobiography. It's funny to see, and our studio is on the west side of Manhattan overlooking the Hudson. And all I'm thinking about is, I just want to get this the hell over and get out of there. That's all. Go to Fox, do my job, and go home. So I get into the ABC studios, and the little entourage takes me up to the View place. And I walk around the corner, and there's Whoopi Goldberg, giving me the Whoopi stare. Now, I've known Whoopi almost as long as Barbara. In fact, very few people know this, but I was offered the lead in the movie Ghost. That was all right, so I'm out there, and all I want to do is talk about the Adobe book and get out. That's all. And all of a sudden, I'm getting questions about George W. Bush, who's been out of office for almost 3 years. All right? Hey, what about George W. Bush? Listen, he might be golfing today. I mean, what do you want? What are you talking about? All right? Because they're obsessed with it. All right, then the topic of conversation goes, why do you hate Muslims? Why do I hate Muslims? All right, so I'm not computing this. And then Damien comes in. That week on The Factor, I had criticized the 9/11 mosque. Remember, they were going to build a mosque on the site of the World Trade Center, which I thought was inappropriate. Do you build a Benihana at Pearl Harbor? Right? So you put big knives with Japanese guys on the site of the attack. No. Two blocks away, I'm right there, I'll have the shrimp. I don't care. All right, same thing with the mosque. 2 blocks away, give me a hammer, I'll have it. Right? I don't care. So I said to them, what is the problem with this? It's just not the appropriate site. It's about freedom of religion, Behar says. She's a pagan. Freedom of religion? And then Goldberg goes, what is it? What is it? Why don't you want it? I said, because Muslims killed us on 9/11. Oh! And I'm thinking, did Norwegians kill us? Did I get it wrong? And then the 2 of them jump up from their seat. Not an easy thing for those ladies to do. And they run off the stage. And Barbara's, oh, where'd they go? And the guys on the street, you know what I'm thinking? This is great. If I can get the other 3 off, I can take the whole hour. Thanks for coming out to see us, everyone. Thank you very much.